Hey, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. I'm here with Patrick Lee. He is one of the icon agents here at eXp, been in the business for 8 years. We're going to have a great discussion. Stick around. Here we go. Patrick, how are you?
Jeff, how are you, my friend?
I am good. I'm doing good. It's good to see you. I appreciate your time. I know
Man, I'm
you're,
so excited to be on the show with you. Thank you
yeah.
so much for the invite. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for accepting the invite. I appreciate it. So, doing some big things down there. Tell everybody, tell a little bit about your story. How'd you get into, why real estate,
Oh
Patrick? This
my
crazy
goodness.
business that we're in, you know?
It's oh my gosh. It's crazier by the day.
It is.
Um, I was raised on the West Coast, beach kid, Southern Oregon coast. My aunt that I respected a lot, been through a lot in life, got a real estate license when I was a teenager at Century 21. She was a gold jacket agent.
There you go.
That was a big status symbol back in the days. And I always respected her, admired her. She was one of the few people in our family that actually, made any money. I came from a big family, a lot of kids, and dad got out of the Navy and went to work for our local hospital, driving ambulance, and always worked two or three jobs to make ends meet, feed a bunch of five hungry kids, and mom worked outside of the house later on as well. And I always thought if I ever grow up, I'm going to get into real estate and start learning how to make real money, right? That's kind of a joke, but you always hear that everyone loses their shirt in the stock market and many different businesses. But if you get into real estate and you just apply your trade and you're basically honest and hardworking, you can be successful.
Yeah.
And it was in the back of my mind most of my life. And I found myself fixing to turn 50 years ago. And I said, it's now or never.
Yeah.
If you wanted, I had some people kind of challenging me to chase my dreams. And my wife said, why not? And I had friends that encouraged me at the time and said, why not? And I'm like, hey, let's go. And that was 8 years ago, and I've never looked back. I went
Yeah.
full time within just a couple of months, and I've been doing it ever since. And it's for me. It's not for everybody, but I found out real estate is for me.
Yeah. Good for you. What were you doing prior to real estate? What did you do before this?
About 25 years in sales and customer service,
Okay.
supermarket management. I was a professional baker and professional furniture salesman. So about 20 years in management and baking, and then a few years in furniture sales, and that's when my one of my friends actually encouraged me to get into real estate with her. So always in management,
Okay.
and I found out that management is basically grown up babysitting, and I'm like, if I'm going to babysit somebody, it might as well be myself and make the money for myself, not another company, right?
Right. Right.
So that's when I jumped in, and it's been great for me.
Okay. Did you start out on a team, or were you on your own at first, or how was it the first couple years for you?
I started at Keller Williams.
Okay.
The Millionaire Real Estate Agent book had come out, was changing, revolutionizing the real estate industry, and I started on a team immediately.
Okay.
That team ended up not being a good fit for my friend and myself, and we ended up leaving that team, and within just a couple of months started our own team. I was on that team with about seven other agents when we started coaching with Jay Kinder and Michael Reese at the National Association of Expert Advisors.
Hmm.
And they sort of hinted around about this brokerage that might be a great fit if we were interested, no pressure. Why don't you take a look at this business model and poke holes in it? Is kind of what they said to my team leader.
Right.
And she shared the webinar about eXp with us, and the whole team decided unanimously to make the move right away.
Okay. And that
Yeah.
was what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago?
That was late 2017. I think
Okay.
we left Keller Williams for the Thanksgiving break, and we came back. Everyone came back from Thanksgiving break, and our team was gone. Our office was empty, and it was a little bit of a shock to everybody. But it's been wonderful for us, for
Yeah.
sure. We've loved it ever since we've been here.
Cool. How's business for you right now? How are things going? I mean, we're all making adjustments. The good agents adjust. I mean, I've just
They
seen that over
do,
the years. I've been doing it 20 years now in all
yeah.
different markets. Whatever. We had a big mastermind this morning here, a bunch of agents, about 50 of us, downtown at a restaurant, and just I mean, we're seeing the shift right now a little bit. In the
We
market.
are. We have sort of prepared ourselves for it for the last few years, right? Most of us have been able to see that the shift was coming. About 2 years ago, I left the team I was on and started my own team. I was going to go independent and make all the money, right? And I had a few agents that decided they wanted to work with me as well and made the jump with me. Then I hired a few agents, transaction coordinator. I recently hired my daughter. She got out of college with a degree in computers and marketing. Hey, she's behind us, actually heading out right now.
There you go.
She's been doing marketing for me and administrative tasks, and so it's been great having our own team. But the market has been shifting, and I tell everybody this: if you're prepared, it's not going to be that big of an effect. But I believe in a couple of things. Number one, be honest. Number two, honor God with your business. And if you do those two things, you can't fail, right?
Yeah.
So the pilot of my ship, number one, is the Lord. And then I have to make myself hang around guys like you and our leadership at eXp, because they're the ones that help us see and recognize the changes in our industry, right? You have to stay involved in your industry, just not on the treadmill of production, but also learning about the trade that you're applying in your market. So
Yeah.
our market is still very busy. We have an extreme shortage of properties for sale. In Amarillo, where I'm at, we would normally have anywhere from 1,800 to 2,500 homes on the market at any given time. And for the last year, we've had less than 400. We currently have 275 homes for sale in our entire MLS. So it's
That's crazy.
trying,
Yeah.
to say the least.
How many
And
agents? How many agents do you have down there? How many
I,
agents are part of your MLS board?
in our MLS, we're reaching 1,100 right now.
And
So
275 homes on the market.
275 homes total for
Wow.
sale, not pending already. So one home per four agents.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
it's a little challenging to say the least. But
Mm-hmm.
we're blessed. You know what? Our board is full of deals. All of my agents, I have four agents on the team. One is going on her second year. Just graduated to one of our like team agent partner program and has gone full cap. So she can go after the Icon Status Award, which is great. I'm proud of her. And then I have two relatively new agents, just been licensed a couple of months, and they're all have completed a couple of deals,
Mm-hmm.
and it's good. My transaction coordinator is a full time licensed agent as well, and does her own deals. So we continue to walk in favor and blessing. We stay busy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. For sure. I think one of the things we're seeing, and we were talking about this morning. I think just I mean, again, like all these new agents the last couple of years, like we're heading into a different market. And
Very.
what they're used to for the last couple of years, that's changing. And you got to be ready for that. Like you got to pick up the phone now and start making the calls. I mean,
You do.
more so than what maybe you've had to do in the last couple of years. I mean, it's just
Yes.
you're out there looking for listings, this kind of stuff, but it's like as quick as you get it, it's gone, of course. But there are those
Absolutely.
sellers that are kind of, they want to sell, but they're unsure of things. They're kind of, where am I going to move if I do
That's the
sell?
biggest question right now. I'm
That's an
thankful that
issue.
I've got tons of equity in my home. All of the letters just went out in the mail yesterday
Yeah.
from our local taxing authority.
Hmm.
And the social media in my market now is full of posts of people upset about how high their value on their home just went up.
Right.
So, of course, as realtors, we know that doesn't mean necessarily that your taxes are going to go up to match. But within the next couple of years, they will. So everyone is a little upset about that. The newer agents, it's been so easy to get deals for the last 2 years that a ton of new agents have gotten licensed. And I was sharing with David Bentink on a video this morning on another interview we did that most of my business has been referral, word of mouth. The phone rings regularly. And a lot of the things that we learned to do in the early days, like circle prospecting and door knocking and farming a neighborhood, they've sort of gone by the wayside because business was so good, right?
Yeah.
And now those tools you're having to pull back out of your toolkit and start utilizing them all over again if you want to stay, number one, front of mind, and number two, have a pipeline full of business. You have to go out and pound the pavement again to get some deals for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you doing with your team to bring
Um,
in as many leads as you can? What are some of the things you're working on
we
directly?
we work on a lot of different things to get leads, but we utilize social media heavily.
Okay.
So show social media. I do a podcast every week that we did this morning, and it live streams on Facebook and LinkedIn. Then it's updated or uploaded right after to YouTube. I have 13 pages on Facebook, some for community outreach, some that are specific to a neighborhood like the lake here, Lake Homes. We advertise there and just consistently post um, things that are going to get the engagement of people. I work a lot like you do with Nick Krim, Michael K, and a lot of the guys at Krim Content. And I've learned years ago that if you want to have market share, you first have to get mind share. So everyone you know, as you walk around or you go through your day, you go to a restaurant, you go to the mall, wherever you go, you see people scrolling, right? They're on their phones scrolling.
Hmm.
So if everyone in my market is scrolling, I want them to scroll and see me.
Right.
So social media has become one of the biggest things that we utilize heavily.
For sure.
Um,
For sure.
but,
One of the things
I
that
mean,
I've been making the shift here, the last 6, 8 months, more and more
yeah,
video. Just
you just
realizing how
have to.
important video is. I love doing these interviews, this kind of stuff. I'm learning every time I get on here with
Yeah,
somebody, different things. But I mean, just how important that is. I mean, that what was it? Inman News last December, came out with so like 80 some percent
yeah,
of consumers they're looking for video.
they
And
truly
they're going
are.
to be
They want
they're going to be
content.
picking their realtor from video.
Yeah,
And
they sure do.
there's it's funny because we had a big event here we did last week and had about 50, 60 agents that came to this thing for about 3 hours and just kind of a seminar, and just generating more business leads, investing, different things like that. And I asked I did a little segment about 20 minutes on video and using
Yeah.
video. And I asked just, okay, who out here, show of hands, who's using video in your marketing? It was like two hands. The one out
Oh
of
my
like, I mean,
goodness.
like nobody,
Yeah.
and I get it because I wasn't either 6 months ago,
Yeah.
and just realizing like, wow, like that, you got to go that direction. I think it's one of the things that I love about eXp. I got to say is that I feel like we're staying in front of things. We're staying ahead of
Agreed.
things. I'm doing a training. I've got our state broker here in Colorado, Shelly Vincent. She's awesome,
Uh-huh.
and we're doing a Zoom mastermind next Tuesday morning on crypto. She actually got certified with Colorado with our state real estate commission here, 2 hours CE class that she's now able to teach on crypto. She's got a deal she's putting on the market tomorrow, $12 million, and it's a crypto deal. Big press
Wow.
release coming out tomorrow. We're going to hear
Yeah.
about that. Whatever. It's up by Mile High Stadium up here, and whatever. And it's probably it's probably the biggest crypto deal that's been done in the country at this point. I mean, it's starting to happen. But again,
That's
I
huge.
heard this morning 18 like what was it like 20 some percent of millennials last year used crypto in their
It's
deals, and it's
really
something that
growing.
we just don't know much about. But here we are, we're getting training on this and we're doing classes. And I just,
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like that's one of the advantages we have right now is when you've got the caliber of agents coming into this company and we're all just like, I mean, the biggest and best from across the
Yes.
industry. It's just keeping us ahead of things. Do you feel that way?
I do. Like I said in the beginning of the show, we were already coaching with NAEA,
Right.
and Jake Hinder and Michael Reese were already at the top of their game at two of the largest brokerages in America. So partnering up with them, people like Brent Gove, in our leadership here at eXp, Glenn Sanford, always leading the charge into the next best thing for agents is incredible. And when you start looking at the caliber of people and teams that have come over, number one independent brokerage in America, I think was Chuck Fazio, brought over 900 agents. The largest Keller Williams team in the entire nation of Canada comes over. Some of the largest independent agents at Keller Williams, Caldwell Banker, Remax, largest Remax agent in America, brings his whole team to eXp. It's got to tell you something. When people like Grant Cardone come over, it's got to tell you something. These are people that are leaders in their industry. They know how to watch trends. They know what's happening next, and they know when it's time to hitch your wagon up to a hot horse. And
Yeah.
that's what eXp is. These are big thinkers,
Yeah.
way bigger than me,
Yeah.
and they make my future much brighter by being here, for
For
sure.
sure. Yeah. What was the biggest appeal to you when you saw this? I mean, you were doing well. You had your business up
Yes,
and running. You were over, you were at Keller Williams,
yes,
right? And again, great company. I was there for 5 years.
absolutely.
They're
Yep,
doing awesome things
absolutely.
too. What when you looked at this model, what was it said? Okay, I got to make a move. What was it for you?
Well, like I said, I was on another team.
Mm-hmm.
My team leader at the time was looking at getting her broker's license. We were thinking about going independent. We wanted the freedom to go after the kind of client that we wanted, to be able to keep more of our money. And let's just face it, we had a profit share program there. You could bring agents into the brokerage. A portion of the broker split would be paid back to you based on the production of that agent. That was attractive.
Right.
Then our market center built a new $1 million facility, and there was no profit left at the end of the month out of the broker split, and so profit share went away.
Right.
So that was changed when we saw the model at eXp. They had a revenue share model that says, hey, if you bring these agents into the company, a portion of that brokerage split will come back to you as an agent before overhead comes out of it. And I went, hey, ding, ding, ding. That's more attractive. Of course, they offered stock in the company, and you can buy stock in the company at a discounted rate from anyone else. Out a portion out of every closing can go into your retirement, which was something I didn't have at Keller Williams. So I could get a retirement just by doing the things that I already do in the real estate industry. So that was appealing to me. The immediately, of course, right off the top, it was a better split. The old brokerage model was just 50-50. Everyone paid their broker half and you got to keep half, right?
Yeah.
So that started becoming more negotiable. And EXP offered a 20% brokerage split. Um, the more I watched, the more I just had to make the move right away. And we unanimously, I was the lead listing agent on the previous team. And I told my team leader at the time, she said, what do you think we should do? I said, we should show it to the rest of the agents and let them decide if we either move forward with an independent brokerage, or we make the move. And everyone unanimously wanted to make the move. And we actually made a plan to move the first of the year, and everybody got antsy. And within a couple of weeks, they said, can we just go now? It was too good to wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we say in the Honey Badger Nation at NAEA, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what we experienced.
For sure. Well, and
Yeah.
I've had those, and I know you've probably had this too. I've had those agents that I've showed EXP to who did wait, and
Yeah.
inevitably, the thing they always tell me is,
Everyone
"Oh man,
says,
I should have done this
I
when you
should
first
have
showed
done
me."
this sooner. I wish I would have moved sooner. I
Yeah,
wish we would have seen it sooner.
yeah,
But just like you, you came in just a couple of months after I did,
yeah,
and the stock in the company was about $5.70, and we had about 5,500 agents total nationwide.
hmm
And here in 4 years later, we've surpassed 80,000 agents, and we're in over 17 or 18 countries,
Yeah.
and anticipated to cross over 100,000 agents in 2022.
Yeah.
Those are numbers that you just can't deny. There are a lot of, you know, haters, but there are also a lot of competitors in our game, right? In the real estate space. And while there are a lot of great models out there, for me, I just don't see a better model than eXp.
Yeah.
I just don't. So it's allowed me to ply my trade in a tough market. It's given me the ability to collaborate with huge thinkers, people that are ahead of the curve, and it's basically insulated my business away from from the harm that's out there.
Yeah.
And then there, I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, for sure. Well, and, I got this thing going across the bottom here. Which you talked about. Getting
Yeah,
getting paid in multiple ways for what you're
what
going
you
to do anyway.
what you're
And it's
already
just,
doing anyway.
yeah, and it's just like, why not at least look at that? I tell people all the time, like, it doesn't hurt to look. It's free to look. You can always say
Sure is.
no. You
No
don't have,
blood, no foul, right?
yeah,
It's
you don't
all
have
good.
to. You don't have to make the move. But I know for me, it's without question the best business decision I've made in 20 years of doing this. I mean, no question.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal
absolutely.
what's going on. Where do you see yourself going? What for you? 5 years from now, where do you want to be, Patrick? With your business, your team, where do you want to go?
The team 5 years from now, that's actually a pretty simple question. I have been actively involved in investing,
Good.
something I never thought I would be able to do. Growing up on the West Coast, little beach bum kid from a family that just really never got ahead in life.
Yeah.
Um, I now own multiple investment properties, and I'm rehabbing a property right now for my first Airbnb. I'm buying property in Oregon now, and I'm going to be doing investments in Airbnbs on the Oregon coast. Very lucrative market.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 5 years, I'm going to be mostly off of the transactional real estate wheel and executively managing my team. And that's kind of where I see myself. I'm a teacher and by trade, and by spirit, I will be traveling. Here's just the truth. I'm going to be traveling with some ministers doing conferences in different areas in
Nice.
in a support role. I'm raising money for nonprofits. Have a big event coming up in September of this year to raise funds for people caught up in the sex trade, both here in our market and in other countries. And I have a desire to get involved in children's medical facilities for free. And so most of what I see myself doing in the future is getting involved heavily in ministry and nonprofits and continuing to teach, lead, and grow the team. Um, and potentially promoting a team manager, someone else to run all of my operations, a director of operations at that time.
Right.
So
That's awesome.
I don't know that I could do that at another brokerage.
You would be too tied to it
Yeah,
to do
I
it. You
think I
could do
would.
some, but I think you'd just be too tied to it. I don't know
Yeah,
how you can pull back as much as you could. And again, I love. Here's the thing: I love that we at least have those options here. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
There's people, if you want to build a traditional team and, whatever, 25 people, or if you want to build you can, all kinds of ways. You can do everything you're doing right now at another company here,
Yeah,
whatever as well, but you're going to get paid in multiple ways. And now you look up 3 or 5 years from now and you have some options. You want to go out and do ministry, you could do ministry. If you want to take a couple months and go travel and not have to think about it, you can do that. Now you
you
can do
can.
whatever you want, but I want to have the options. And I think this is the only model I've seen where I can really truly have that kind of option, like
Agreed.
totally. You
Agreed.
know, I
Heavily.
would go on vacation before. We traveled, before when I was at other companies with my team. I had my team for 13 years, my traditional team, but I was too tied to it. I couldn't. I remember being in Ireland, and I'm on the phone at 2 in the morning because of the time difference, and
Yep.
just putting out fires back here. I mean, literally, getting out of bed, sneaking out of the hotel room and down in the lobby on my phone at 2 and 3 in the morning because that's what time I had to be on. I had to be on a phone call back here.
Absolutely. I
And then
know.
sneaking back to bed, trying not to wake
Yep.
up my wife and kids, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm not on
Having a
vacation,
having a
you know?
team is the first, you know, cog in that machine at being able to get yourself a little bit free
Yeah,
from that. And that's one of the things that's been so great here at eXp. Everyone, one of the things that I tell people a lot when they say, what's the thing that you didn't expect to happen that happened with eXp? And that was that they just told me the truth. And the things that they said would happen have happened. The
Yeah.
splits that they described were real. Revenue share really works. Stock in the company really does get magically added to your account when you achieve goals here.
Yeah.
We don't lead with stock when we're recruiting, right?
Sure.
No, we don't lead with revenue share, but just like your ticker says, these are things that are already a part of the equation, which is wonderful. So everything they told me was true. And then the collaborative spirit of all the agents here has been mind blowing to me.
Phenomenal.
At,
Yeah.
at Keller Williams, it was, they claim to have an open door policy and everyone wants to help you, but everyone there is so competitive, wanting to hit that next big sale that if they teach you all their tricks, then all of a sudden you're their competitor. And at eXp, everyone wants everyone to know everything that they know so we can all grow together. We call it one big fire because it is. We all add our flame together into this huge bonfire of growth. And I can call people, get them on the phone, and they're willing to share things that they would have charged someone $1,000 to learn at another brokerage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Or more. They said, "Hey, you want to know what I know? Sign up for my weekly coaching calls and buy
Right.
all of
Yeah.
my books and come to all of my seminars, and you might learn some of it."
Right.
And so much of that is offered here for free, and
Yeah.
that is absolutely incredible.
It's a paradigm shift. When you have
It
ownership in the
truly is.
company, you want everybody to succeed. It benefits the whole company. It benefits the
Absolutely.
brand. More agents are going to come join. It's a
Yeah.
win for everybody. The better we all do in our production and
Yes.
everything, like we want everybody to just go blow the doors off when it comes to real estate.
Absolutely.
And you
It's
look at our numbers, it's like So, and again, you've heard it. We get
oh yeah.
accused this. All you guys do is recruit. It's like
You're just a
the
recruiting.
numbers show something completely different. We're
Yeah.
recruiting. Yes, we're growing like crazy, but our production numbers are so above the recruiting numbers, which
Yes.
just says we're recruiting agents who are producing in big ways,
I look
and
at
doing a
it
lot of
as a
sales.
compliment when they say
Yeah,
you're a recruiting company. Because
yeah,
in essence, every company that's successful is a recruiting company or they fail, correct?
for sure.
So when they call us a recruiting company, I take that as a compliment. Yes, we are a recruiting company because obviously we have something good enough to recruit people to. If we didn't believe so heavily in our company and what it had to offer, we wouldn't be pounding the pavement and ringing making the dials
Yeah.
because we want to share everything that we have with everyone that we know, right?
Yep. Yep.
Why wouldn't you want the people you know, love, and respect and trust want to come work with you if you have something this good to offer?
Hmm.
I would submit to you that if you are not a recruiter, you must not care about your friends that much.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave that right there.
When you know you have something better,
Yeah.
you know how it's going to help them.
Yeah.
It's like to keep that a secret. I mean, a year ago when our stock split, the first guy that I ever showed EXP to, a buddy of mine, Aaron Kin. I've known,
Mhm.
Aaron was top 50 Keller Williams in the world, started his own brokerage in 2009,
Yeah.
Kin Real Estate Group down in Texas. And I called up Aaron about a month after I'd been here. Had no clue how EXP worked. I mean, I knew I got it to a degree, but I couldn't explain it or anything. But I
Right.
just
Right. Right. Right.
asked him if he was open to looking at a video. Sure, send me the video. A month later, he moves over here. Well, he called me a year ago with the stock split. He cashed out 1,000 shares, paid off his house, paid off his cars, completely debt free. He's like, look, I just want you to know, 19 years of being in the business, the last 2.5 years here has completely changed our lives. Thank you for picking up the phone and calling me and making me take a look at EXP.
Man.
And that
Man.
right, I'm just saying, like that
Life
gets me on the
changing.
phone to
Yeah.
talk to as many agents as I can. Because
Yeah.
if it was worse off, I consciously couldn't do it. I'm like you.
Yeah.
My 30-year anniversary as a Christian is coming up in August. My wife and I
Hey,
have a full time
hallelujah.
ministry. Like I just,
Yeah.
we're very involved ministry wise with
Yeah.
different things. I couldn't consciously reach out to any agent if I thought it was doing them harm.
Absolutely.
And one last thing I'll leave here is you mentioned like if everything they said was true. If it wasn't true, none of these people would be here. We wouldn't be here as a company
We
13 years
wouldn't.
later. We
You're
wouldn't
right.
be growing 1,000 agents a week. Chuck Fazio wouldn't have brought Revelation Real Estate over here if it
That's
wasn't
right.
true.
That's
All,
right.
like all the skepticism that I mean, even when I saw it 4 years ago, I'm like, okay, like what's the catch?
Yeah.
Is there a catch? There's got to be a catch.
Mhm.
you know, we were like 4,000 agents, whatever, 5,000. I
Yeah.
was like, it just sounded like there's just got to be something. But it's lived up to everything I thought it would do and more.
And
And I can't
more.
wait to
That's
see
it.
where we're gonna. I can't wait to see
And
where we're
more.
gonna be 5 years from now. Oh my
I can't
gosh,
either. I'm
it's
I'm
crazy.
so excited to be here,
Yeah,
and it's been very good for us. You know this. My wife years ago when I was in sales, used to sweat the bills. It was
yeah,
hard for us to travel, raising a couple of kids as well, and we had plans, relatives that were going to pay our children's way through college, and all of those things went away. The stock market crashed 2008, 2009, wiped out our family's investments. They were gone.
yeah,
And then that falls back on mom and dad. How are you going to, pay for braces, pay for kids to go through school? And getting into real estate was one of the most tentatively scary things I had done in my life.
yeah,
And my wife said, "You realize if you don't sell, you don't eat." I said, "Yes, maybe I get it." But I said, "We serve a big God and He's got our backs. And I believe this is what I need to be doing."
yeah,
And to see the peace in her life now, here we are years later. Um, she doesn't sweat the small stuff anymore.
yeah.
You know,
That's
real
awesome.
estate has been good to us. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I tell everybody just honor God in your life and your business, and you keep Him first, and He won't let you go.
Yep,
Uh, He won't let you fall. So it's
for
been
sure.
very, very good for us. And luckily, we hitched our wagon to a really good horse at eXp.
Yeah,
It's been
there you
great.
go. Well, Patrick, I appreciate your time, and you're doing some big things and great things coming for sure. So,
Absolutely, Jeff.
and
Thank you so
I'm
much.
honored to be partnered up with you, and just and different agents in this company. Seriously, it's just
I am as well.
so
Absolutely. It's been very good. I'm super proud of you and everything that you're doing. So happy to have met you last year in Vegas.
yeah, it was awesome.
And who knew that you knew who I was and I hadn't met you yet.
Yeah,
And you were like, "Hey, you're Patrick Lee." I'm like, "Yes, I am. I am. I am Patrick Lee."
there
And
you go.
so it's been great. So happy to meet guys like you
Yeah,
and partner up here at eXp, Jeff. Thank
yeah.
you for having me
Thank
on
you.
the
Well,
show. I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate it very much. So anyway, have a good rest of your week. You're gonna be at shareholders down in Orlando.
Absolutely. Wouldn't
Yep.
miss it. It's part of
Yep.
the icon requirement.
Yep. I'll be there. I'm looking forward to it.
I
It'll be
will I
fun.
will see you there, my friend.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you got any questions, comments, just put them. If you're on Facebook, put them down there. If you're on YouTube, put them on there. Patrick or I will get them answered for you. Any questions at
Absolutely.
all? And again, if you're a realtor down there, Patrick somehow, reach out to him. Just say, hey, just show me what's going on over there. I keep hearing about this. Whatever. But
Absolutely.
reach out to Patrick. He can help you. I can help you. But guys, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for getting on here. Have a great rest of your week. And Patrick, I'll see you soon. All right.
Take care, buddy. Bye
Thanks,
bye.
man. Bye bye.